is Kevin Jackwitz, and I just got done watching Raw post WrestleMania. The first show after WrestleMania is usually just jam-packed with a lot of really cool stuff and the crowd going berserk. And this Monday Night Raw was no exception. So we're going to kick it off right away with the review for April 9th, 2018, the post-Raw after WrestleMania. Amazing show from beginning to end. This was as close to a 10 out of 10 as I have seen in a very long time. So I'm going to go ahead and give that rating right off the bat, and I'm going to get into why. Everything they did, all the surprises. This 3 hours was used to the absolute best it could have been. There was a lot of really good stuff here. They start out with Stephanie McMahon, and just like I said, you know that they're going to have Ronda Rousey go over at WrestleMania. She's going to look tough. They're going to have Stephanie McMahon come out and play the victim, and oh, my arm is tore up, and that's exactly what happened. So what happens is Stephanie McMahon, she goes to the ring, and she calls out Ronda Rousey and tries to appeal to her better nature, apologizes, and tries to be a team with Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey, of course, she does come down. She hears all this. Stephanie McMahon goes to shake her hand. Ronda Rousey shakes her hand, gives her a hug, wraps her up in another armbar, makes her tap again, and huge pop for Rousey. The crowd was chanting for Rousey really, really loudly, and that was cool, and you could tell it made her feel awesome. I'm sure it's a different dynamic than the UFC. You know, there you have to be absolutely so serious all the time, and here you can just enjoy it in ways. And so I think it's cool that she's getting the chance to enjoy it at the beginning of this. And one thing I really liked about the crowd today especially is that they really played like they gave the heels heel heat. They gave the faces, you know, the face praise. And, they, you know, even though we all know it's scripted and, you know, these people are not really what they say in their characters, the crowd actually played to their heels or faces, and I thought that was very cool. So right after that, Nia Jax comes out, new women's champion. We all know how I feel about that if you watched my review for WrestleMania. I'm not a big fan of Nia Jax. Alexa Bliss and Mickie James come out, and it looked like it was going to be Alexa Bliss versus Alexa Bliss and Mickie James versus Nia Jax. They're making fun of Nia Jax for being a big girl, throwing her weight around, blah, blah, blah. She's got plenty of weight to throw around. She has no friends, that's why she has no partner. And then Nia Jax says, well, I do have a partner, and boy did I call this one. Ember Moon. Ember Moon is now on Raw. I said that they were going to take away the title at NXT TakeOver and that she was going to go to Raw or SmackDown. Boom, there she is. Really liked it. I'm a big fan of Ember Moon. So that was a really, really good surprise. So the match becomes Alexa Bliss and Mickie James versus Ember Moon and Nia Jax. And this really showcased Ember Moon. Thankfully, Nia Jax sat out on the apron for most of this and let the wrestlers wrestle. And I like that. So Ember Moon, she goes over Alexa Bliss, so it's showing her strong already because she just beat a former women's champion. I was really excited. Good wrestling with her. She's very exciting to watch. If you've never seen her before, Ember Moon is great. So I was really happy with that. That was just beautiful. So Nia Jax and Ember Moon get the win. Ember Moon is actually the one who does most of the wrestling and gets the win. So I appreciate that they did that. I thought that was really great. Then there's a backstage segment where you have Braun Strowman and his tag team partner Nicholas, who is the little kid he picked out of the audience at WrestleMania, won the tag team title belts. So Braun Strowman, it's kind of funny. He says, Nicholas, there's a scheduling conflict because he's still in the 4th grade. So that was funny. And so they actually relinquished the titles to Kurt Angle. So Kurt Angle is, you find out later, starting a tag tournament for the belts. So then you find out No Way Jose is coming up to the main roster. and I'm trying to remember the name. It was Adam something. He used to come out with a bunch of dancing people and like little partiers, and God, I can't remember for the name of me who it was. But at any rate, that's kind of how No Way Jose comes back after the commercial break. A long line of dancers, a lot of energy. And it was a squash match against a local wrestler. Didn't know who that local was. No name, no face guy. So it was a pretty short match. And then it goes back to the party. So we have Ember Moon and No Way Jose coming up already. So of course, No Way Jose gets the win there, and then they go to another backstage segment with Kurt Angle in the bar, where the bar says, "You can give us our tag titles back now," and Kurt Angle's like, "No, you lost them, you have to earn them back." And he explains to him about this tag team eliminator tournament that he has. So the very first match with that is Gallows and Anderson versus the Revival as part of this eliminator match. The Revival go over on Gallows and Anderson, and I mean, pretty good match considering. Anderson, when he gets tagged in, he's really furious. He's all around the ring, really good, fun to watch. So that was cool. So after the Revival win that match, you have Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, and this kind of takes you from the first hour to the second hour. Finn Balor interrupts Seth Rollins' promo where, honestly, he was getting a lot of praise, Seth Rollins was. They were screaming, you deserve it, and Grand Slam Rollins and all this stuff, and it was really cool. But then The Miz comes out, of course, says he has his rematch clause, and that he's going to use that clause at Backlash. And he says tonight, the whole Miztourage can take on Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. While then Jeff Hardy's music hits, and Jeff Hardy's back from his injury. So nothing happens. The Miztourage leave the ring. We find out that it's going to be later on in the night Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Jeff Hardy versus the Miztourage. So that's cool. Jeff Hardy's back. So that's now 3 people. After that, you have a segment with Sasha Banks with Bayley that came down, and you have Mandy Rose with Absolution that comes down. So the big takeaway here is there's a part where the girls are outside and Bayley's right next to the action, and Mandy Rose takes a shove at Bayley. Bayley takes a swing at Mandy Rose, misses Mandy Rose, and hits Sasha. Sasha's distracted as she's getting back into the ring. Mandy Rose hits her with a knee. Mandy Rose picks up the win. Absolution picks up the win. They all come in the ring. Bayley's feeling kind of bad about what she did. She walks up the ramp toward the exit, and Sasha Banks follows her. Now, unbeknownst to us, this is to set up the next piece, which is Paige. Makes her official retirement announcement. She said due to her neck injuries, she's no longer able to compete and she has to officially retire. She was very emotional about it. She was only there for 4 years, and a lot of that 4 years was honestly kind of broken up where she wasn't wrestling anyway. She had to deal with injuries, and it was unfortunate. It really is unfortunate that with her and Sasha Banks, they took that spot where she gets kicked in the back and you can't see it coming. I don't know why she would agree to do that or even want to do that. And I have to believe it was her idea. Just to prove that, hey, I'm okay, but you weren't. And I mean, I feel bad as hell for Paige because she really is amazing in the ring. She's really, really damn good. She's had some great matches. She really was a wrestler, which I appreciate. She started very young, and you could tell that this was something she had wanted to do since being a kid. So that was a shitty moment for fans. It really was. I mean, Paige, it sucks. I really liked her. But health has to come first, and I understand that. You know, it's the same thing to put Edge out, because this is something that could really screw you up for the rest of your life. So, you know, it is what it is. So, after that, Elias has a segment. He comes out and he's just getting over with the crowd. The crowd is chanting, Walk with Elias, and they actually start singing it in like a weird way, Walk with Elias. So that was really cool. Elias was just over. Elias, he's playing the heel role where he's saying, well, you know, now I have to sing in front of all you scumbags. And the crowd starts chanting, we are scumbags, not even letting him get his heel heat. Which was really funny. It really was. He was trying so hard, you know, to come out heel, and the crowd was just all supporting him. So it was kind of funny. But then he gets interrupted when Bobby Lashley's music hits, and the place kind of erupted there. So Lashley had his good run in TNA. Now he's back in the WWE, and still obviously looks the part better than anybody. The guy is an absolute monster. So he takes quick work of Elias. And that was a really cool part there where he's got Elias in a standing suplex and just holds him there, and then lets go of one arm, and he's just literally holding him with one arm for quite a while, honestly. So that was pretty cool. Makes Lashley look beast. So now he's back. So that's 4. And then you get backstage segment with Kurt Angle, and then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are there, and they're both saying, hey, you know, we kind of lost our jobs on SmackDown, so we need an opportunity. So Kurt Angle's like, well, we've only got one spot open, so only one of you can come aboard, so you're going to have a half a match tonight to find out who's that's going to be. So clearly, later on in the night, it's Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. And one of the really funny parts about this was, you know, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are talking to Kurt Angle, and they're like, yeah, we need our job. And then Kurt Angle's like, well, I hear TNA is hiring. Yes! That was great, because honestly, WWE doesn't really make jabs. But that one was just great. It was perfect. I really liked it, I'm not going to lie. After that, Heath Slater and Rhino are in the ring. Heath Slater's like, I got kids, man. I need this job. You know, we know there's a superstar shakeup, but we don't know what's going to happen with us. So they're like, we don't care who it is. We need a team to face. We're going to beat them. And out come the Authors of Pain. Authors of Pain, big in NXT. We kind of knew they were going to be coming up soon. That's now 5 introductions on this show. I thought that was really cool. Really, really, really cool to see the Authors of Pain. Like I said, there are a couple of big guys. I don't gravitate towards the big guys. They're usually slow and awkward. And I like these guys. They're big guys, but they can move. They can put on a good match. So, of course, they're going to squash Heath Slater and Rhino. Had a couple of really good power segments. And then, at the end of the match, after the AOP go over, they walk out and they leave Paul Ellering at ringside. And it was basically like, okay, we don't need you anymore, we're going to do our own thing. So Paul Ellering, he's just standing there glaring at those two as they walk up the ramp. So after that, you have Roman Reigns. He comes down and does a promo saying, you know, we don't know what the conspiracy is, but they keep putting him up against Brock Lesnar, and eventually he's going to become the Universal Champion. He gets interrupted by Samoa Joe, who is back. Now this is 6 returns. 6 returns, or, you know, somebody coming up from NXT. 6 in one show. Samoa Joe, he's like, that's not really it. It's just the fact that Brock Lesnar exposed you. Now, you've been telling everybody you're going to take the title from Lesnar. You failed. That makes you a failure and a liar. And he's like, I'm going to see you at Backlash. So, That was a pretty cool moment there. Of course, the crowd popped for Joe. You know they were going to. And you have the second match after that for the tag team eliminator thing, which is Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil, and they're not saying who their opponents are going to be. And it turns out to be Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. Very, very cool. Like, absolutely cool. This new tag team they've got with these two, I think, is going to work wonders for both of them, honestly. So, Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy, the match is really cool. It's really fun. There was a spot where Apollo Crews makes a really cool move, and then Matt Hardy's like, wonderful, and Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt are applauding Apollo Crews doing a good job. It was kind of funny. And then, of course, Bray Wyatt just knocks him on his ass. Really cool stuff like that, though, during the match. And I think that this is really going to work well with these two. I really do. Bray Wyatt is damn good at promo work. Matt Hardy is, too. And I think with these two together, they could really have some fun with it. Take off the gloves. So, of course, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt are going to go over the, Titus Worldwide. And so now next week we know it's going to be Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus the Revival. So the next matchup is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and these two are magic together. They have not been in the ring one time, and I haven't been impressed by them. Period, point blank. Anytime Owens and Zayn get in the same ring together, magic is going to happen in that match. And this is no exception. It was a very good match. They had a lot of really good spots. At the end, it was getting towards Owens got hit with the haluva kick. Sami Zayn got hit with the pop-up power bomb, but neither guy could pin the other just because of positioning in the ring. And then they're up on the top rope, and Kevin Owens drops Sami on his shoulders. Couldn't get up, and it's a double count out. So because it's a double count out, neither one of these guys have a contract with Raw. And that's where that leaves off. Right after that, there's a short promo where Matt Hardy is talking to Jeff Hardy, saying he's glad he's back, and they're all talking in this whole woken, broken gimmick, which is pretty fun to see Matt and Jeff doing it. And then he introduces him to Bray Wyatt, and Bray's like Brother Nero, so that was cool. Maybe Jeff will, be a part of this whole thing at some point. I hope so. It'd be really cool. And then Matt and Bray walk away, and Jeff's there with his tag team partners for the night, Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, and they're like, what was that? Jeff just shrugs and walks away. It was kind of cool. So then you have the last match of the night, which is The Miz, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel versus Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Jeff Hardy. And it was everything you would expect it to be. And actually, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel were a little bit better than I'm used to them being. So it was a good match. And at the end, it was basically, just here's the fan favorites, go ahead and cheer for them. Seth Rollins gets the win with a curb stomp, or the stomp now. I guess I can't say curb stomp because it has too many implications there. After the match, I think it was Bo Dallas tried to attack one of them first. That didn't work out so well. He took a coup de grace, took a swanton, took a stomp. And then same thing with Curtis Axel, so it was, basically, like I said, giving the faces their time to shine at the end. And but a very, very good, loaded Monday Night Raw. The Raw after WrestleMania, the crowd's always going crazy, and there was no exception here. When Stephanie McMahon came out there cheering, shut the fuck up. Going crazy when Rousey came out, going crazy when Lashley came out. They were having a lot of fun. So it was fun to see that. I would love to be a part of our post-WrestleMania Raw, man, because they get nuts, and it's great. So I'm trying to think of how I want to rate this, because I don't give 10 out of 10s very often for anything. But I think with this show and everything they did and everything that they did with surprises and the retirement speech from Paige, which hits an emotional tone, I really think they hit the nail on the head. I mean, this is one of the very few times they knocked this fucker out of the park. I think I have to give this a 10 out of 10. I really do. I think it was that damn good. I think that they used everything exactly the way it should have been. For a 3-hour show, this is exactly what they needed to start off the new season, basically. I feel like they just, like I said, they hit a home run with this one. It was very cool. I mean, they were, kind of pandering to the fans, but that's kind of, sometimes what you need to do. So it was very cool. It was absolutely a great Raw. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is my take on it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know I'm giving it a super high grade. That's what I felt about the show. There were things that maybe you could take out, like No Way Jose. I'm not a fan of Nia Jax, so her a little bit of but she is good at promo work. And since she didn't have much wrestling and it was more promo, I was not hating that at all. Clearly they're building up some new storylines here, so I mean, I feel like I have to give it a 10 out of 10. I was entertained the whole way with this. So, there you have it, man. 6 returns or bump ups in the roster. You can't beat that. Paige's retirement, that was like super emotional, I'm sure. Like I said, I fell for her. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with it. 10 out of 10. So, if you enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe, and share, man. Helps me out, and I just like to share my love of wrestling. This is something I grew up with, and it feels like they're getting back on track. So, that's really exciting for me. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kevin Jackowitz. Cage Nation out.